Welcome, welcome back to Crafting a Meaningful Life. I'm Mary Crafts, and I do this every week just for you. I get a lot out of it personally, but I can get a lot out of a lot of things that cost less money and take less time than doing this podcast. I do this for you. I want both of us to be walking through life, crafting our life. And then when we walk through, we look back and we go, wow, that's been a great life. Rather than get to the end and say, wow, that wasn't very good, was it? Can I have a do-over? Well, maybe we do get some do-overs, but that's the topic for another discussion. But to help us with that today, I have brought on as a guest a gentleman named Jakob Noble, and you're going to see why he's here with me. So Jakob, welcome to our podcast of Crafting a Meaningful Life.
Thank you, Mary, for having me.
You know, my listeners know that my thoughts on social media, that it is kind of like Charles Dickens. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. And there are so many things that I love about social media because they know my algorithm. And so they only send me great things. They don't send me pornography. They don't send me things about hate and discrimination. They send me great things because that's all I look at. But the person that stops and looks at something for a moment, the next thing you know, you get 30,000 advertisements for a bedspread. You know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Yeah. And yet it's where I go to see how my friends are, connect, what's going on in the community, where can I support, what can I offer to other people? But I'm 71, and I have the skill sets needed to navigate this process, to navigate online presence. But so many of our children do not. And it's a concern for me. I shared with you when we chatted before that I spent a week with my 2 grandchildren, and the one, I was just like, can I just take that phone and smash it? Because I felt like if we weren't eating dinner or he wasn't playing pickleball, he was on that phone on an online gaming. And so I'm very much aware of this problem, Jakob. So I would like you to kind of walk us through how you see the issue and the problems in front of us, and then the designs and ideas that you have to help us deal with that. So there you go.
Okay, thank you. As far as concerning where we have unwanted or accidentally clicked something, I guess we can always share with our developers and say, there are certain things that we will allow and not allow on our site. Primarily, even for advertisers, for example, if it promotes growth, we would love to partnership with them. If it doesn't, it really doesn't match us. So I would assume that the things that will pop up are relevant to you, are relevant to the age group or whatever it might be. So they're not going to get some kind of adult content or some blankets or something that is not relevant to them. So it's more likely that they have an interest for growth. Our platforms aims at personal growth through each stage of their life. Primarily, we're going to start with Gen Z. So the younger generation, we haven't really considered too much, but we are aware of them. We spoke to a gentleman, CEO of Gab Watch, and I asked him because it was about the idea of, they were speaking about disconnecting from the internet, disconnecting because they had a passion to keep the children safe, and with their device and their ethos is to make sure that children are safe in using electronic devices. We would like, when we approached him, I asked him, what would you like us to do for it? And the screen time limit was one of the responses he had. That's easily implemented for younger individuals, right? If they don't fit the certain age limit or something, we can say you have an age time or timeout on that, whatever it might be. So I think we're open to suggestion because I can't give you all the answers right now, what we can and cannot do. But I think our process, our mental thoughts about who comes onto our platform, how they advertise on our platform, it, like I say, if it promotes growth, then we welcome them. And if it doesn't, we can, I think it can be done for another time. If it's a certain gear that promotes growth, for example, if you're trying to climb Mount Timpanogos and you do so, we reward you and say, hey, you got a climbing ads or something like that. And maybe you get ads that relate to that type of activities, unrelated to, even if you accidentally hit something, right? So because sometimes you get those phishing type of advertisement or email and you click it accidentally, you get all these inundated with it. So you and we experience it, so I understand.
Right. So for example, a child who has access. Now I have 3 sets of families in my family, 3 children. My oldest one, they do not have restrictions. They feel they have taught them correct principles and they can monitor themselves. The other family, this middle family, they all have Gab phones. So they are the family that you were talking about. You probably talked to Nate Randall, and of that idea of that. Listen, let's not even put the temptation there. Let's give them phones, but without access, not smartphones. And then, of course, my third one, they only have one child, and he's 6, and so he doesn't have a phone. So we haven't dealt with problems there. But let's take, for example, the oldest family that has free access, and they do believe they've taught them correct principles. Can the parents and the children together go on the app and put restrictions on their account?
Yes. What we like to do, I don't know if this is industry wide, but we personally would like to set everything private at the very get-go. You go inside and then you can just say, we want this open, that open. For the most part, I would like to reverse it and say, your information is private to you, but we have access to it, so we can tailor the content that you receive, the instructions that you might get, or the mentor advice you might receive. Because we want to utilize AI to act as mentors for you, to map out a 3 paths, probably the good, better, and best choices, right? And we hope that would help you get out of your comfort zone and grow a bit. But other than that, we would like to say, when you come on our platform, that everything you have to manually go in there, or something, maybe we can make it adjustments, but that all privacy settings would be, you have the control at the very start, because most people won't know where to go and deselect or select a certain toggle,
think that
right?
is a problem.
So I think we can help by mitigating some of that by saying, when you come on our platform, it's automatically set at private until you allow us to share with others. Because if you have your friends, you can say, well, I want to share with my friends, not acquaintances.
Yeah, I like that. I love that idea. So one of the issues I know that you have been dealing with and facing and trying to help our society with is not just social media, but the broader use of online profiles and interactions, and that there are inherent difficulties with virtual interactions as opposed to face-to-face, touch-to-touch interactions. Some people feel that that's a safety buffer, but that's really not reality. That staying virtual does not give us a safety buffer, and that now the problems with it have become enormous. So can you speak to that, Jacob, and what you're seeing?
I will speak a little bit about my experience in my life, I guess, a little bit. It may touch on why we're creating this platform to address unfulfillment. in that
Yeah.
for a long time I played video games, World of Warcraft, and immersed myself in it because I was not fulfilled in my life. I was resentful of how my friends were succeeding, getting married, having a family, and having a successful career, where I was not progressing at all. In in that, what we like to do is use our platform to engage people. The the safety factor we would like to use is that we, I'm not sure if you're familiar, back at home in Washington State, I went to high school in Lake High School, and we had a program there. It's called Natural Helpers. In that the peers, your peers, would, there was a survey that was handed out, and I didn't realize it until maybe sophomore year, that they handed out these surveys and they asked, who do you trust, or basically, right? And you put your friends' names and those people you feel that you can confront when you're struggling or whatever it might be. In the end, the students are selected from the schools, select the students that been surveyed, that these are the individuals who are trusted individuals. And what we would like to do is something similar, is like where you maybe one day we'll throw out a survey and say, who do you trust? And these are the individual we'll highlight, who will pop up more frequently as recommendations. I think that's one way we can have people feel safe on our platform, in that what we suggest to them are people who are credible, who are trustworthy, and these are the people we will elevate above the others. Because we had another individual ask us, how do you prevent people from taking our platform and bad actors kind of thing, where they're trying to recruit people to their gangs, right? How do we prevent something like that? And I think that's another thing, is about how we look at, well, hopefully we have an algorithm where we can say, these are the individuals that other people feel trusted. And then if they are bad actors, people can rate them, and then they may not come up as often as possible, right? And that's where most people, when they go buy something on Amazon, you can see that, oh yes, this product serves a purpose, and there's many reviews. We'll have something similar where you have that, your peers to peers. I think that will be one way to mitigate and make it safe for others, so that they can.
Probably one of the things that I should have said about you at the beginning, Jacob, which I failed to, is that that's what you do. You've created a platform, like anybody else's platform. You could be on, Google platform or whatever, but this is a platform that people can be on, and what your goal is to create safety and connection. Would you say that's a good description?
Yes, it is app that is designed. Think of it as a bucket list app, where you have people wanting to achieve something in life. They want to learn snowboarding or something, right? We connect you with relevant people who actually have done it or want to do it. Or if you have hiked Mount St. Helens or Mount Timpanogos and all these other things that you enjoy, want to do, then you actually have people who are relevant to you, not someone who state that they are hikers when they have not really hiked in the last year. And so we want to provide those information in a way that when you're matched with someone, it is quite relevant to your progress as an individual.
Wow. So you actually have gone beyond just people looking for friends and friends looking for them. You're actually providing a customized list of opportunities for people to connect with like interests.
Right.
Yes?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why they have the question, what keeps a gang member from going on there and requesting, hi, I need people who want to deal in drugs and who aren't afraid of the police and blah, blah. You know what I mean? So what keeps that from happening?
I'm sure we can always figure out those bad actors. And like you said, the algorithms are sophisticated enough. With AI, we can figure out if certain keywords might come up. I mean, worst case scenarios, like, the FBI have, like, you're doing the search for bomb making or something, you come up on their radar. I'm sure that we have something along the line saying, hey, let's go cause a riot, or let's go cause this or something. I'm sure we can spot those quickly enough. And they either will get warning that they need to make sure they change this, or we will, ban them from the platform, because we want to create that people feel that they can come here, share their ideas, regardless of whether they're affiliate from one spectrum or the other, that they can feel that their thoughts are valued. And we want to ensure that other people feel that they are valued. Our company's name is Numbrd, in that you're not just a number, but you are numbered, in that you are significant. And that's what we play.
I love that. I love that. It's the difference between being embraced and just searching to be embraced. That you are actually counted and found a place, and
Right.
that you belong.
Right.
I'm
You
just
are
thinking
counted.
about this platform, Jacob. So I'm thinking in terms of youth and the value that it has for youth and parents. But in terms of me, like, could I go on this platform and enter in women over the age of 70 who want to climb a major mountain?
Yes.
I could.
So, yes, it is not. I'm quite inclusive, but if you want, we can put certain restrictions saying, well, I only favor people from this age range to this age range because I feel comfortable around these individuals, because whether they're mature or not mature, or they're flamboyant, or whatever it might be, that they're boisterous people that I want to be associated because I'm shy, or we are gamifying life, in that this is a simple title that we would like to give to people. If you're an introverted, right, and if you make 5 new friends, we can give you the title social butterfly, which will help you understand that, hey, I like this. I'm going to see if I can get my next title, which is, I don't know, King of the Mountain or something. I have no idea. So, right, but I'm just saying there's
Queen of the
option.
Mountain.
Queen of the Mountain here.
There you go.
Or diva, right?
Oh, I don't ever want to be a diva.
So there's many customized ways which we want to tailor, because we want to take a deep dive into the individual, and that you share with us, with your permission and everything else, and all safety concerns aside. We understand you, your personality, your likes, your dislikes, your psychographic kind of things, and all the different things that make you, the first time you had a job, what job that was. We want to understand on a deep, deep level about who you are. And that way, we can make relevant choices that would help you progress, because you might be focused on just your physical and you're a gym rat, right? But there's some other things that you can look into, maybe learning a new skill, dancing, social skills, mental skills, right? Maybe even financial literacy. And that's why we want to be well-rounded, in the sense that we approach that. Yes, keep playing your games if that's what you would like to do for entertainment, because there are other people who are, you can label them as gamers, playing video games, but there are people who spend 4 hours playing, watching footballs, right? So in actuality, they themselves are gamers in one degree or another. So we like to say, keep what you like, but let's make you more well-rounded.
I love that. And I love that, obviously, youth love to connect with people who like what they like. And I love that. And I've climbed a mountain before, Kilimanjaro, where everyone else in my hiking crew was 15 years or more younger than me. And I don't want to do that again. So that's why I said I want you to be 70 or over, you know what I mean? But I think that that's such a great thing. Now, I do have a concern about this, and I'm going to share with you what it is. So in order to get this information about me, I fill out some sort of questionnaire on the about myself, and I list my things, Or is it something you glean from my current social media? How do you get this information about me? Because when you mentioned that, it just seemed a little bit like Big Brother, or what people now are afraid of is AI. AI is watching.
There's many aspects in which we hope to glean, as you say, right? We want your phone provides a lot of information, where you've been, how out, whatever altitude. Our progress, I think, the information we like to glean from you is to say, we understand that you will enjoy these activities. Anything that's related to your personal growth, we want to keep in the sense that in the sense of, I should say, keep in the sense with your permission to use, because if we don't have any data on you, we can't provide you a tailored route for you to climb a mountain, right? We need to understand you. And so when you feel that you can trust us, and we'll provide many ways to safeguard that trust. And in doing so, I believe those concerns will be mitigated. We can placate your fears of that this is Big Brother. In a sense, you can think of us as Big Brother in that we have your best interest. Not that we like to monitor you, but we like to say, we want to help you progress. How many people, even the government, or other corporations that have your best interest in your growth? I don't think there is a platform out there really that our primary focus is your growth. I hope I can placate. I don't know if I can, but I know that the information we gather, it is for your benefit. And there are certain things that whether we use it for other reasons, we will allow you to know that what we're going to do with it. So it will be clear in your understanding. And if not, then we would like to hear your thoughts. Why?
Sure. So many times I have been on a high trust level with founders of a particular company. And then as that company grew, and there were a lot more people involved, then I'm like, well, do I trust all of them? I mean, so as your company grows, how are you putting the guardrails in place for your own company?
That's a great question. I would like to know, and this is going to be, it's a difficult question to answer because I haven't gotten to that stage. So you'll have to forgive me. We would like to have those safeguards in place. We would like to have it, whether that's for employees, they sign a certain thing saying they agree to these terms of employment, and what you're providing matches with the mission of Numbrd, right? Which is to help people progress to grow. And I don't know how to fully answer this just quite yet, Mary, but I can get that more fully to you later. Because as I see it, we like to hire people who have that same drive. In our search for investment, as we're trying to build this app more fully, is that we're more focused on not the bottom line, people who are interested in just the bottom line, because they want to push a certain product because it's trendy, but doesn't really, whether it's a fad and has no bearing to the progression of the individual. In that we are seeking money in a sense of funding from others who are social impact, that they have a cause. And those are the type of people we like to hire in a sense of investors, or in the case of employees, we would like to that be their ethos, that they see the value of an individual. And I think that would dictate much of our safeguard, right? Because if you can surround you with the right friends, per se, like your parents teach you, right? You will have the right type of company or culture. I think that's the thing that I can best tell you right now, is that surrounding yourself with good actors or people who love to help others. I think that's going to be the main thing that will keep us from straying too far.
And I think that you touched on investors and what a critical piece that is. Early on, right after I graduated from college, I was married. We opened an ice cream store It was a gelato store. It was the first gelato store west of the Mississippi. It was like a brand new way to sell ice cream. Utah had never heard of it. I was so excited for this, but I realized quickly I didn't have the money to do everything that was needed to create this Italian ice cream store. The machine alone had to come from Italy, and it was $55,000, and that was 45 years ago. Okay, so and so I took on investors. I just took on one, and what I quickly learned was that this investor, who I thought was a wonderful individual, lived by the golden rule. And the golden rule being, he who has the gold makes the rules. And we were not in alignment. So 4 months after we opened, we closed because we could not come to alignment. But that's okay, because then I went on to do my catering company, and it was all fabulous and still going on. So, I mean, every step is a step. But I know you're in the middle of funding. And I think that is such a critical piece, Jacob, as you're looking for your funding, that you come across those individuals who can see your vision, the need for your vision, and you show them how, not because they see it as a place to make a lot of big bucks, but as a place that they can make a social impact difference. Right. And those kind of people will be worth their weight in gold.
Right. We are trying to center, just like everything else, it's people have a focus on helping others. I believe, I know the revenues will come. So for those investors who are cautious about our approach and they are just focused on that, we want to say to them, we understand your need for, providing return, right? But I feel that with time, and this is more of a long-term vision. It is not something a quick fix. It's not something that we can drive right away. But I know that in the enduring resilience of our company and of my history, we are looking for something that will endure. And just as we, in our mission statement, is that we take pride in the enduring development of individuals, right? So yes. This company, we want to align with others, whether they be investors, whether they be employees, and our users. We want to say that we have a long-term vision for growth. It is not, we don't want to sell you something that isn't going to help you just because we're going to reap the reward quickly in the sense of the revenue that we could generate. That will come in time. We believe it will come in time.
Yes. Well, to meet you and to know you, Jakob, is truly to sense your energy around this project. I have to just say, your level of integrity was just, I really am a feeling-centered energy person, and I feel into people's energy very quickly. And I immediately knew that you were an individual that was trustworthy. And I felt that. So that's why I quickly extended the invitation for you to come on the show. I don't like people on my show that I don't trust.
I think you extended it too fast to me. I'm like a little reserved as far as when it comes to public appearance.
Well, I bring that out in you. I wasn't worried about that. You have to leave that part for me, to ask the questions and to get you to talk and those kind of things. And you've done super well. As we come to the conclusion of our podcast, Jakob, I have a very specific situation that I want you to kind of think about and how this platform moves it. So the problem, let's start with the problem as I see it. As so many children in the gaming piece of this industry have isolated themselves, and all of their friends are on this screen, they cannot discern. When I think about my one grandson who's 14, so yes, he's been taught principles, but doesn't have the life experiences to discern who is trustworthy and who is not. And I'm concerned that he is missing out on the social piece of life, the interaction, the touch, the not laughter online, but laughter, right. Belly laughter, face to face.
Right.
So how does your platform begin to help those youth who live in a virtual world?
We will incorporate, as our platform is going to gamify life, in that we will use AI and other gamification strategies, in that you take what made gaming for me, as I understand so far, addictive, is that it gave you a facade of success.
Yes.
And we use it, well, I use it, let me speak to myself, because life was a failure to me. And I was coping with life's failure, and I was drawing myself in. And I had this discussion with Jake Strack the other night about, he was sharing us that there's a certain balance that when you have pain and you have pleasure, sorry, my arm's a little from shoulder surgery, it's not moving very well. You have pain and you have pleasure, and then you add one to the other, and the other comes with it. So in the gaming world, you're trying to escape the pain, and then you get more, and then you raise yourself up and higher, and it becomes more painful. Let me simplify this in that we use the same methodology, strategies that make gaming addictive, but we're going to reverse it and use it to make life addictive. The people who are playing games, they will understand the idea that they receive rewards, feedbacks, accolades, because they receive a gear if they climb, like earlier I said, if they climb Mount Manogas and they get a climbing axe or something like that. They are in themselves, like in the gaming world, if you down a boss, you get certain gears, rewards for those things. And if we can use those same ideas to emphasize the importance of living life, whether you meet with another and you experience that laughter, the touch that sends more emotion than a keystroke. I think I'm hoping that satisfies, or if I'm able to communicate it well enough, that we're aware of these things, because I live those things, and many of the people we're trying to reach are the Gen Z gamers, because they are the most connected of any generation, but however, they are the least, or I should say, disconnected, in that they are experiencing this, they're not engaged in life.
That might be ready to roll, that we can include your website?
The website, it is up, but the functionality with the newsletter or the contact information, we'll work on it. And I think hopefully within 3 weeks or so, or less, we can get it. Okay, yes, you got me going, so I have to say work on it. And I
got a little push for you.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 4 weeks to get this ready.
Yes.
So that when this goes live, people can actually click on the link at the end of the podcast and find you and see what's going on and see what you're doing. Because I think so many parents are looking for answers in support and help in this issue, and they don't know how. And fortunately, I didn't have that with my children. They didn't have cell phones till they were almost graduating from high school, because the technology wasn't there. And when I can't even imagine now running my old catering company without a cell phone, but I can remember doing it without, when you were needing to find out where the other van was on the road and you'd lost them and you couldn't contact them because there were no cell phones. You just pull off to the side of the road and wait for them to drive by, and then you get back on the road, follow them. I mean, our lives have become so much easier because of technology. But because of technology, we also need to be very astute and very aware of how that we can use it for us rather than it using us for them. Right.
I think you have to spend your time selecting the companies. I think this might be in a self-promotion kind of way. You need to find people who have your best interests. I mean, are you going to find friends that will lead you astray, per se, right? Or are you going to find friends that will uplift you? And then you can worry about, then you won't have to worry about as much about whether that's going to be dangerous. I liken the analogy of climbing. Before I understand climbing, because there are infinite amount of danger in climbing. But once you understand that you have to have a trusted belayer, right? It's someone who's going to climb by you because they literally have your life on the line.
Yep.
So you find someone who you can climb with, that you feel safe with, that you can trust your life with. Then you have to understand the gear, because first I looked at the rope and that's the little small thing and it's going to save my life. But if you understand the physics behind it, the technology in a sense, right? If you understand the restrictions that you can put on these technology, then you can say, I can climb safely because I understand that the carabiner will hold me. This knot will hold me. This knot will stay, even if it's under pressure, right? So I think once you understand it, now you can reach for uncertainties because we have you, right? That's how I view any new experiences. The faith that you put into us will also help you grow, because we will pull on the rope enough that you have an opportunity to grow, but also secure you so that when you do fall or you make mistakes, that it's not something catastrophic, right?
Yeah. No one's going to cut your line. You may slip just a minute, but then it catches.
Right.
Yeah. The first time you lean out over that cliff backwards and you're going to rappel down that side, there's that moment, and it all has to rely on trust.
Yes.
It can't be, I'm just going to jump, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
Nobody leans out like that. They lean out in full trust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We believe that with you understanding who we are as a company, the people that backs it, or in a sense, my past, you understand that I too understand their pain. And for nearly 40 years of being isolated and being upset, I didn't tell you at the start in this podcast that I'm a refugee from Cambodia, and the history of Cambodia is bloody. The dictator Pol Pot and his regime, the Khmer Rouge, had killed a quarter of the population, roughly about 3 million people. And in Cambodia, if you stood out, you were eliminated. And so I understand that standing out can be dangerous for others, whether they have a certain gender identity that they themselves become targeted because society finds it unacceptable. I feel that people can come to whatever stage in life they are at. We take them as they are and say, yes, we understand you. Now, here's some things to help you grow as an individual. We understand you may like this type of sports, but have you considered this? So once they understand that we understand them, I keep on emphasizing that because I can relate 30 plus years of isolation, nearly 40 years of my life. So I feel their pain. And we want to create that platform where people can feel safe yet grow, because once you experience the growth, and this is the reason why I'm creating, once I experienced the growth, because I realized who I was and what kept me back, it was then when I decided to engage others in my adventure for growth. And our platform Numbrd is designed to bring you along on this journey with me. And that's why it's exciting to see. I'm excited to see that this happen, because it's fun. I'm more of a engaging, fun, thrill type of person. So I like to see this happen so that everyone can experience it for the fun of it.
Well, knowing that, I will invite you up the next mountain I climb.
Maybe I spoke too much.
Well, I have no doubt you can keep up with the old lady, so you'll enjoy it. Jakob, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your passion with us, your desire, and you didn't just have an issue. You looked at it and how can I solve this? How can I be part of the solution rather than just the complaining side people? And you have taken the bull by the horns and just gone for this. I wish you the very best in this. And by the time we put this out, I know you'll be so far down your traveling, your journey, and that people can go on and look at your website. And someday you might see me on your platform looking for that.
I welcome that day.
Older senior climber.
I welcome that very.
And thank you so much for joining us today, our listeners. And check out Jakob's website. And remember always, each and every day, to craft the most meaningful life possible. Namaste.
Crafting a meaningful life.